Hello and welcome to the Iceman channel. Today we're going to talk about this little bad boy. This is the ST25TB key emulator project by Benjamin Deply, also known as Gentilkiwi. He's mostly known for mimikatz, and everybody knows that one. And he is also quite active within the RFID hacking community. This is his first hardware project, and he developed it in order to help out with his research about the French public transportation tickets that uses the ST25TB cards, which operates on the ISO 14443B protocol. I know a lot of numbers there, but this is kind of a cool tool. You will also find a talk and a video about that he did in Paris some weeks ago. And I will have the slides for this talk in the description of this video below. I'm excited to test this board out, and we're going to explore different modes and how it looks like talking to it with a Proxmox. Let's get started. This board has a dedicated Texas Instrument chip, so this is the MSP430. And this is a dedicated RFID chip, which is the TRF7970A. It has 3 different buttons, a little battery switch flip for the CRC202032. Yeah. Numbers, and I soldered on these little pins in order to power it up a little better. And it has this built-in antenna, so it works quite well. It has 2 LEDs that shows different modes. Green means emulator mode, red means writer mode, red and green means learning mode, and it has some status LEDs over here. So red is bad, and green and blue together on this side means it succeeded. Gentilkiwi put all his setup, all the source code for this project and how to compile, flash and design and actually make the hardware itself available. And you will see all these instructions here. And for flashing the device, you would need this custom or this dedicated flashes from Texas Instruments. They call MSP43 flasher or something called the Uni flasher. He also has the descriptions of what the different modes does. So green for emulator mode allows to some, limits in how not to decrement some values. And also says that you can change the UID on this one in this mode. And that's stored on hex 81 and hex 82. And the writer mode. And this sense it will, in this mode, the device will write back to the paper card that you had used for it. And in learning mode, green and red, you will let the board read a ticket and then you can emulate that ticket with the device. So that's good. I also mentioned the slides and its talks. Make sure that you look at it and you will find it over here. It contains tons of good stuff in it, actually. So well worth looking into. Let's get on with the Proxmox part. I will hook up some electricity to my little device. When I power this one on, you will see there's some LED shows and everything going on as a status thing, so that's good. So this mode now, we're in emulator mode. Let's just put it on top of Proxmox, head over to the client and see what it says. We're going to use the 14B commands. It detects a card very fast and easy. We have 14B dump, which we're going to use the no save parameter to, because I don't want to save a lot of files. Had to move a little bit to find a good sweet spot. And this is how it looks like. This is a memory copy of a ticket. Ignore this. This is me fiddling with this before. So if I put on this part here, I will take a ticket and put on the Proxmox instead, so we can compare SRT 512 And if you dump it, we have this layout. So when you look at the ticket layouts, you go like, what does this mean? Well, once you've gotten all the data out, it comes down to something what we call in this community for the data mapping phase. Luckily, Gentilkiwi was such a champ, so he actually made the following. In his slide deck, he made a slide of what it could look like because he found that datasheets for this. So this is why the slides are really useful. You get an indication of what's mapped to what. And if you don't know all of this and you think, oh, how am I going to do this? There's also a project called the MetroDroid project, where it handles a lot of different ticket systems. So you get an understanding how to, how they do in order to map the data out. What does specific bytes do in the system that reads this? So a ticket or a RFID card is just basically a memory card. So it's just a piece of memory that the system in the backend or in the readers uses to do things. And that's what we're going to manipulate. Now, we saw that this can be emulated. Let's see if we can write some stuff to this one. Let's run dump again. And we see this. We should be able to read. Let's read 12 because we have been doing that before. And we should be able to write as well. SERA write block. 14A, no, 14B. And we want to write block 12 and we want to put data. We want to put all zeros. And if we read it, it says okay. And now we can look at the whole dump again. And you see that this is gone. So we can read and write to it. Remember, he also said that in this mode you could also change the UID. And the UID being this part here. As you see, is a little bit more than 4 bytes. It's 8 bytes. So in this sense, it will occupy 2 blocks of memory in it. And he said in his little cheat sheet on his GitHub that it's block 129. And you see that this maps to this. And you wonder why it doesn't 1B. It's because it's a reverse network order here. So this is here is 1B, 1B, 60, 60, 6F, 6F, 1E, 1E. So given that, we should be able to write to 129 and change this to something different. If I reverse order of it, I will see what happens. And now you see 11, 22, 23, 24. So this is like a magic 14B card. This is cool. Let's see if we can learn a card. Let's take this. Let's get into the learning mode. When I manage to press it. Here, learning mode. Red and green LED. We present a card. It says blue and green, which means it's okay. That went fast. We go over to emulator mode. So if I run the 14B reader, you see we have a different UID here than before. And if I put on this card that we just read, we see that this UID matches. And if I were to look at this data, and we would look at this one, it's the same. I know that you can see it, but I can. So yeah, this is the same. So it's very fast to read off a card and duplicate it more or less, so you can present it to the ticket system or the reader and buses, I guess. That's what he used it for. Let's see if we can use the write mode as well. Let's change some data. And let's change some, sorry, write. We're going to change some data at block, I want to say 12 again. Data, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, let's dump it again. Oops. You see 1, 2, we got it here. Let's turn this one on to writer mode. I'm going to do Siggy. Writer mode, and I'm going to put the card on. and you see it's blue and green, that means that this card here got the updated data from this card here. So let's go over there. Let's see. This means that if we look at this data dump now, the 11, 22, 33, 44 should be written to the card, and it is. Easy, easy. Disconnect this little device a little bit, and that's a funny little thing. I would say it's, you know, this reminds you about, you know, the Chameleon Minis that simulates and does all different tags, also software based. But this one uses the TRF7978 chip, which handles 14A, 14B, 15693, ISO 18000 and Felica. So it handles the 5 largest ISO standards for RFID transport communications. That means that this one can do, you know, potential to become very much more. That's kind of awesome. That's going to be useful. You can have it in your hand, a little battery driven, and you know, it's an awesome tool for those people who are looking into some kind of analyzing on different engagements. A magic 14B tag, easy clone, easy copy, easy writer, and the emulator. It's what's needed now is all of those fancy Android apps or iPhone apps to talk to it, you know, or Bluetooth module or anything like that. Let me know in the comments below what you think about it. Smash that like button and please subscribe. Have a good day.